Broncos Country, we might be one loss away from ending this absolute train wreck shit show of a start of the season under Nathaniel Hackett. I actually believe that if the Broncos lose to the Jags in another low-scoring, embarrassing affair, the Walton family might just look to Hackett and say, don't get on the plane. Here's a coach ticket. You're flying back commercial, and you're no longer the head coach of our team. Goodbye. See you never. I think that's an actual possibility this Sunday against the Jags in London. So if you are tired, you are fed up, and you want change, you want football, and I mean football with more than just one touchdown a game, type me down below in the comment section because I want to see a whole sea of me's in the comments because I, for one, can't stand watching this team put up just trash every single week. Welcome into the 2-5 Broncos breakdown, and the sky is falling. Right? This team is done. There are no playoffs coming for this team. You are 2-5. They look worse than 2-5. That's the funny thing. It's one thing if you're 2-5, but you're super close to winning a bunch of games. Yeah, the score might say you're close, but here's the thing. When the Broncos were down a touchdown against the Jets, did anyone really think they were going to drive down the field and score? Right? This team might be close on the scoreboard, but it never feels like they're actually that close because of how bad their offense is. Anywho, on today's show, we are going to talk about Nathaniel Hackett, the Russell Wilson injury update, and some more news surrounding the team, so stay tuned for that at the end of the video. But here's my take on Nathaniel Hackett that I kind of want to lead things off with. The injuries are certainly a factor, but at the end of the day, it is clear. Nathaniel Hackett can't hack it, right? He is not cut out to be an NFL head coach. We all know this. At this point, it is abundantly clear to everyone. Anyone that's ever watched a snap of football is aware of, yeah, Hackett, he's not cut out to be an NFL head coach. So now it's not a question of if. It's really just a question of when they move on from Hackett. And after dropping their fourth straight game on Sunday to the Jets, last in the division at 2-5, with an offense that ranks dead last in touchdowns with 8, a franchise lowest, by the way, through 7 games, keep in mind. And this is an offense that the last couple of years, we've all been banging the drum of, can it get any worse? From Trevor Siemian to Teddy Bridgewater, everyone was fed up. And we all thought there was green grass ahead of us with Hackett and Russell Wilson coming here. No, not to be. We were sold on Jack's magic beans. Like, it is not true. It was not going to happen. So the question now is, could Hackett be done as soon as this Sunday with a loss to the Jags? I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think George Paton would quickly, raise the white flag and go, yep, I hired the wrong guy. I'm going to fire him mid-season. But it might not be his choice. The ownership might step in and go, we did not pay $5 billion to see this absolute disaster of a team. And I want to show you guys this tweet right here from Benjamin Albright, who does a great job of covering the team, answering Keith's question of any chance Hackett is gone if we lose in London. Albright quote tweeted that saying, I would have said and have no in-season firing, that they'd wait till after the year, but I know ownership is embarrassed. Really felt like a shift yesterday that if this thing doesn't get turned around and fast, that anything is possible. And I echo those thoughts. I mean, you do not spend, so much money buying the Broncos only to watch this coach who clearly is incompetent and cannot do his job just go down the shitter in year one. Now, earlier this month, we were ahead of the curve here at the channel, and we saw that Hackett is not cut out to be a Broncos head coach. So I did a 5 replacement options video if Nathaniel Hackett is fired. Now it's just a question of when. So after this video, I invite you guys to go onto our channel here. Scroll down a little bit. October 9th is the date. Click on it and check out some replacement options, including the very popular Sean Payton. All right, I want to show you guys this quote from Mike Florio in his latest article on Nathaniel Hackett and the Broncos. For ownership that didn't hire Hackett, they need to ask themselves whether it makes sense to make an in-season shift to defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero, with Evero possibly in line to get head coaching consideration elsewhere for 2023. Why not give him an 8-game on-the-job audition? They're already thinking about parting ways with Hackett after the season. Why not do it as the bye week arrives and 9 games remain to be played? I actually see a lot of logic and sense in this. I'm not a fan of mid-season firings, especially for a first-year head coach. But like last year with the Jags, it was abundantly clear Urban Meyer was not going to work out there. So why waste anyone else's time? And also, what you do is you send a message to your fan base of, we're not just going to waste the rest of this season. Hackett, he's not getting the job done. We're making a change, and we're making a change now. And sending a sign to the fan base of, this is what you can expect from us as ownership. We're not going to settle. We're not going to give someone a super year-long leash when it's clear he is not in our plans for the future. So with that being said, what do you guys say? Should Hackett get a full season? Should he get 17 games to showcase that he is worthy of considering to keep him around for year 2? I mean, no one thought Brian Flores in Miami would save himself after dropping his first 7 games down there, but then they won 7 in a row. But that team showed fight. I don't see any fight for this team for their coach. I think he's lost the locker room, and you're not going to see a dramatic miracle mid-season turnaround here. In fact, Hackett just recently was asked today about maybe relinquishing play calling duties. Here's what he said. I think we'll always look at everything. I always look at myself first and foremost. If there's something that we all agree that I might hold the team back or anything like that, sure. I don't think that's the case. I think there are plays to be had out there. I think we have been in and out of the huddle. Everything with communication has been really good. But we'll look at everything. We'll always look at everything to try to improve and help this offense. Unpopular opinion, put your tomatoes down. The problems with this offense is more than just Hackett's play calling. That's the biggest chunk of the pie, I think. But I don't think that's the only issue. Right? For example, yesterday, Brett Rippon, 4th and 10, heaving it to the end zone. He had Dulcich open for the first down and maybe some extra yards. Right? Hackett can't control where Brett Rippon throws the football. When there's a wide open guy in the middle who's going to get the first down and get you 4 more cracks at the end zone. So that part isn't on Hackett. Right? The fumbles at the goal line week 1 against Seattle, he didn't fumble the football. Now, that's not pardoning him for what's been disastrous play calling throughout the season, horrible clock management, not going for it on 4th and 1 at midfield with a backup QB, asking Brandon McManus to attempt a 50-plus yarder after he just missed an extra point with swirling wind in Denver. Those are his mistakes. But not everything falls on Hackett's shoulders. I will give him that here. All right, next segment of today's show. Russell Wilson. Is he returning for Week 8 against the Jags? Well, Hackett says that Wilson is trending the right way to play Sunday. Here's what Nathaniel Hackett said today talking to the media. We're going to play it by ear. We're going on a plane to go to London now, and we'll be able to know a lot more as we move forward on Wednesday. But he's day to day. I know his mindset. He's trending in the right way, and we'll see where it goes from there. Does Nathaniel Hackett want to lose his job with Brett Rippon at quarterback or Russell Wilson? He'll probably want to go down swinging and put Russ out there, even if Russell Wilson's not 100%. Because we know one thing about Russ. He'll play even if he's not 100%. Right? It was Hackett who shut him down in Week 7 against the Jets. It's not like Russ is holding himself out because he's thinking longevity. He wants to go out there. He wants to play. So now the ball's in Hackett's court. You want to go down sinking with backup QB, UDFA, Brett Rippon? No offense, Brett. Or do you want to give yourself a fighting chance with Russell Wilson? Because it's not like Brett Rippon was all that bad against the Jets. But at the end of the day, who do you think he's going to pick? 100% Brett Rippon health-wise, or even a 75% Russell Wilson? I would be surprised if Russell Wilson does not play. If Hackett truly believes It is win or go home this Sunday against the against the Jags. By the way, Rippon throwing 46 passes, probably not a good idea. Just going to put that out there. Probably not a very smart plan. All right, we recently crossed 10,000 subscribers here at the channel. Really appreciate all of 10,000 plus of you who have subscribed. If you have not already, hit that big red button. We're on the road to 11K now, and I need 891 people watching. And I know from YouTube Analytics, there are 891 people watching this video who have not subscribed. Let's go ahead and change that today. Also, the Week 8 odds are out for Broncos Jags, and if you are ballsy enough to bet on Denver plus 3.5, by all means, knock yourself out. Go to chatsports.com/bet, promo code Broncos125. If anything, I'm going to bet on the under in this game. London unders, the Lunder, is a very real thing. And with Brett Rippon potentially starting, or even Russell Wilson, this offense is good for 1 touchdown and 2 field goals a game, if that. So I like the under. Whatever bets you want to make, just make them at chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Broncos125. All right, I got to get some injury news here as the Broncos diagnosed running back Mike Boone with a high ankle sprain that will sideline him for a few weeks going into MRI this morning per Mike Kliss's source. Hence, Marlon Mack signing as number 3 running back behind Gordon and Murray. Now, Marlon Mack has been with the 49ers practice squad this year, been elevated twice, hasn't played. In fact, the story is that he got on a plane and flew straight from Santa Clara to London to meet with the team. So that's kind of cool. But Marlon Mack, you might remember, longtime Colts backup running back for 5 seasons there. 2019, he rushed for over 1,000 yards. Now, he has been banged up with injuries. In 2020 and 2021, he combined for 8 games, 101 yards on the ground last season for Indy. He has not seen much of the football field lately, but at least it's a notable name, because I feel like when you see a name you recognize, you feel like, well, that's got to go way better than bringing in some UDFA we've never heard of. All right, more injury news to get to here. Tom Pelissero, unfortunately, tweeting out that Baron Browning is expected to miss several weeks because of the hip injury he suffered in Sunday's loss to the Jets. This sucks. Baron Browning has been great for the Broncos this season. Is it just me, or does it always feel like when a defensive play is made, Baron Browning is involved? Whether it's a sack, a tackle for loss, anytime the defense comes up with a huge play, I always see 56 coming out of the pile. So it really sucks to see him go down. And now it makes you wonder, with all the Bradley Chubb trade rumors, how does that impact it? Because when you look at this Broncos depth chart here, of course they have just been derailed by injuries this season. But Randy Gregory on IR, missing 4 games at least. Aaron Patrick on IR. Jonathan Cooper, injured earlier this season. Do the Broncos want to roll with Bradley Chubb and Nick Bonito? Or if they were to trade Chubb, it would be Bonito and Jonathan Kongbo? I do think there might be a trade element impacted by this Baron Browning injury as to whether or not George Paton wants to move on from another edge rusher. Right, go down, essentially, 1, 2, 3 edge rushers. But make no mistake, Baron Browning's injury should not hold any water when deciding whether or not to trade Bradley Chubb. If you're trading Chubb, you are doing it for a future draft pick with the future in mind. Do not let 3 weeks of the 2022 season that's already lost be a factor in this decision, because you'd have to roll with Bonito and Jonathan Cooper or whoever at defensive end or at outside linebacker. Do not let Baron Browning's 3, 4, 5 week injury, whatever it is, be the thing that ultimately is a difference maker in turning down a trade package that brings a first, a second, or a third to Denver for Bradley Chubb. If Peyton has already decided he's not going to be here past this season, last year of his contract, we're not going to give him the big money. He'll find him free agency, and we don't want to franchise tag him for whatever reason. If that's the route Peyton wants to go, of not bringing Chubb back after this year, do not let Browning's injury get in the way of making a trade. All right, everyone. I appreciate all of you guys for clicking on to today's video, making us a part of your day. I wish I had some more enthusiasm, but 2-5, it's tough to bring that up. Things are down low right now. I think the best news we can get is Hackett is fired.